what time it is. You know what time it is. You know whose time it is. You know what time it is. Matthew Mania, the time it says. You know what time it is. You know whose time it is.
All right, everybody. Welcome to the Matthew Mania podcast. I'm Matthew Mashler, real estate broker who watches wrestling as if it's my job. And today I want to talk to you about Noah Kahan. I just went to the Noah Kahan concert July 4th, 2025 in Hyde Park, London. And I have to say, it was incredible. BST Hyde Park is a all summer festival with different headliners. Um, Headlining concerts almost every weekend, from Zach Bryan to Lana Del Rey, Sabrina Carpenter. Uh, there were so many people this summer and summers past, and it was just amazing. We uh, we got there a little bit late. We didn't go for um, all of the pre-show, but we got there in time to see a band called Phineas. They were really good. Gracie Abrams, of course, she was amazing, and I was very excited to see this concert. One of the reasons I was excited to see this concert was because Gracie Abrams was there, and she does sing "Everywhere, Everything," or actually, I think it's "Everything Everywhere" with Noah Kahan. It's a song about worms eating dead bodies. Yeah, really nice. But a lot of Noah Kahan's songs he re-released with famous singers. So Gracie Abrams sings that song with him, and it's kind of amazing when he went to play that, and he gets to the first chorus, and Gracie Abrams wasn't on the stage, and for a minute I didn't think she was coming out, but then she came out and sang her part, and she was amazing. Um, so Noah Kahan in Hyde Park, what a wonderful concert. I went with my wife Wendy. That was her second Noah Kahan concert, and our son David and his girlfriend Carrie. David had never seen Noah Kahan before. I think it was a nice surprise. He knew a lot of Noah's songs. I take a lot of credit for that. Probably he can't be in the car with me that often without knowing some of Noah's music. So it was really exciting to see him. Lindsay couldn't make it. It was so unfortunate. Lindsay is living in Burlington, Vermont, where she goes to school, and she had to fly to Newark to catch the flight to London. And she had 2 or 2.5 hours for a layover. Should have been plenty of time, but her flight was delayed 4 hours. And she was not able to make the concert. And I have to tell you, I'm a little crushed. I really missed that girl. She'd seen Noah Kahan maybe more than me, but after this concert, maybe not, because she had one up on me. She had seen Noah Kahan. I guess it would have been June of 2023 when she graduated high school. Her and her friend went up to New York City to see Noah at uh, Radio City Music Hall. What an amazing venue to be able to see him at. Lindsay and I have been Noah Kahan fans for a very long time. I remember driving her to school, and one of his songs was on the radio. And I said, "Hey, Lindsay, can you put in your notes, add this song to the list of songs that Dad likes?" Um, and uh, and that I believe the song was "Hurt Somebody," and it was years before Noah Kahan's Stick season had become a super mega hit song. And when I say super mega hit song, it's because every time I go to see Noah Kahan, a lot of my friends say they've never heard of him. But if I play Stick season for them, they say, "Oh, sure, I know that song." Someone actually. Um, I'm jumping around to this weekend in London. Someone had said to me that never heard of him, and I played the song for them on Apple Music on my iPhone, and they go, "Oh, that song's on my playlist." So even though they've never heard of Noah Kahan, they actually know who he is. And some of my friends say they never heard of Noah Kahan, and I say, "Listen, I've seen him like 5 times. Every time I go see him, you said you never heard of him. At some point, you've heard of him. At some point, you have to be like, because if someone else said mentioned to you Noah Kahan, you'd be like, "Oh, my friend Matt loves that guy," right? So you've definitely heard of him if you're hanging out with me enough. Um, and if we go through our chronology of concerts, when Lindsay started college, I wasn't able to go to her move-in, so I was moving her brother David, her twin brother David, into college in North Carolina. So about a week or two later, I flew up to Vermont to take Lindsay to a Noah Kahan concert at Saratoga Springs. It's a big amphitheater like Jones Beach in Long Island, or the Garden State Arts Center in New Jersey, or the I Think um, Amphitheater in West Palm Beach. It was the largest crowd Saratoga Springs has ever had. I think it was 22,000 people. It was the largest concert that Noah Kahan had done to date, and that was, I believe, September of 2023, late September 2023, the Saratoga Springs concert. When we got there, and we saw people sitting on blankets, we couldn't even not it's not that we couldn't see the people on the stage, we couldn't see the stage. It's not that we couldn't see the stage, we actually couldn't even see the theater from how far back people were, and we kept walking closer and closer and closer. Once we got to the actual theater, where the permanent seats were, and we weren't even at the last row yet, and I looked at the thousands, tens of thousands of people, maybe not tens of thousands, but lots of thousands of people that were behind the last row. I couldn't believe it. I said, "Hey, Lindsay, if we were sitting here, wouldn't these be amazing seats?" And she said, "Yeah." And that was literally the last row in the venue. I think we were in the second or third row. So we kept walking closer to the stage, closer to the stage, closer to the stage, and and it was pretty incredible. I was so excited to see Noah Kahan for the first time. I wasn't 100% sure I'd be familiar with the playlist. I liked Noah Kahan. I liked a lot of his songs, but he had a lot of albums. I wasn't sure what songs he would actually be playing. Um, and one thing I realized is I couldn't name the songs. I had nicknames for all of the songs based on the choruses. Um, but I really thoroughly enjoyed that concert. I think I enjoyed being with Lindsay, and certainly enjoyed being um, I was so happy for him, right? It was the largest concert he had played to date. I was so happy for him. It was weird, like, to be so happy for someone I don't even know personally. So that was amazing. And a few months later, at the end of her freshman year, there was a family vacation. Me, Wendy, David, and Lindsay, in June of 2024, had a family vacation to Alaska planned. Um, and we had tickets to Noah Kahan in Nashville, Tennessee. I remember there were a couple of concerts that went on sale. You have to get into the lottery after Taylor Swift broke the internet. Yeah, they changed the way that Ticketmaster did the ticketing, and you had to enter a lottery. And somehow I won the Nashville tickets, so I had tickets to see him in Nashville without a real plan. And then when Wendy and I planned the family vacation to Alaska, which was a couple days later, I planned out with Lindsay that Lindsay and I should go to Nashville, see Noah Kahan, leave the next day for Anchorage, Alaska, and get there a day before Wendy and David arrived in Alaska. So that was amazing. We went to Nashville. We brought Lindsay's friend and Wendy's friend. So Wendy's friend and Wendy's friend's daughter came with us. The four of us went to the Bridgestone Arena. So to go from Radio City Music Hall to the Bridgestone Arena, where the Nashville Predators NHL hockey team play, was kind of amazing, kind of to see him in an arena setting. It was a total upgrade from the Saratoga Springs show. He was a lot more put together, completely different band. The supporting musicians behind him, much more polished show. Great set list. I was familiar with the music a lot more. I had been listening for a year. I've been listening for 5 years, but listening a lot more in the last year. And one of his songs, "Dial Drunk," he re-released with Post Malone, and in Nashville, Jelly Roll came out and did the Post Malone part on "Dial Drunk." I'd say one of the top three Noah Kahan songs. My personal favorite Noah Kahan song is "She Calls Me Back." Um, but Dial Drunk is a close second. Obviously, Stick Season rounds out the top three Noah Kahan songs. After the Alaska trip, we were trying to figure out another family vacation. Uh, we had plans with David to see the Dolphins play the Seattle Seahawks in September of 2024. Seattle is David's second favorite football team past the Dolphins. So to see the Dolphins play Seattle in Seattle was a good excuse to go to Seattle. And when talking with Lindsay about, we had some time before she had to go back to school where she wanted to go. She wanted to go to Seattle and Washington and Portland, Oregon. And I didn't want to go to Seattle twice, but I couldn't convince either kid to go on a different time. David wanted to go for the Dolphins game. Lindsay wanted to go and did not want to go to the Dolphins game and wanted to go in this time period before school. So we planned a trip to Portland, Oregon and Seattle, Washington. And I'm always on the Noah Kahan website looking at the tour schedule, as well as the 502s and Ziggy Alberts. I'm always checking out those tour schedules. And I didn't notice that he was doing a show in Washington State. There might have been a Seattle show, and we couldn't time it up, our trip to go to the Seattle show. But when Lindsay was looking into fun things to do in Portland for the 2 or 3 days we were going to be in Portland, she had realized that Noah Kahan was playing in Washington State, and in looking at how far Portland, Oregon was from wherever in Washington State Noah Kahan was playing, it was only 15, 20 miles outside of Portland. It's not believable. No one would believe it. Wendy wouldn't believe it. Nobody would believe it. But it is 100% true that we had planned a Portland trip without knowing that Noah Kahan was playing. We planned a Portland trip, had flights and hotels, found out that Noah Kahan was basically playing in Portland. If it wasn't in Portland, it was a suburb of Portland. So RV, the sponsor of the amphitheater was an RV center of some kind. So one night while we were in Portland, Lindsay, Wendy, and I went to see Noah Kahan. It was so unbelievable that when I would tell people that we're going to Portland and Seattle, I couldn't say, and coincidentally, Noah Kahan happens to be there, because it was so unbelievable. We would just tell people that we did, that we went to Portland to see Noah Kahan, and we've always wanted to go to Portland. We've always wanted to go to Seattle. So we did that. We made that trip. It was great. The amphitheater was similar to Saratoga Springs, not as big as Nashville, but it was all seated. Well, there were lawn seats in the back, but sometimes we get general admission standing room, and sometimes we get seated. So we went to see Noah Kahan in Washington State, and that was fantastic. And then later that summer, we had tickets to see Noah Kahan in Fenway Park. We got Madison Square Garden. We got tickets for Madison Square Garden. We didn't get tickets to Fenway Park, but we decided we would go to Fenway Park over Madison Square Garden because Noah Kahan being from New England, Fenway Park being a real milestone for his life, we thought it would be a more meaningful show to go to. Madison Square Garden certainly is a mecca for any musician to be able to play Madison Square Garden, but we thought it would be more meaningful to see Noah Kahan in Fenway. I think we were right. It was absolutely incredible. We got general admission tickets. I'd have to ask Lindsay who opened up. I think Mountjoy and one other band opened up for Noah. Lindsay would have to tell you that one of the bands that opened up for Noah several years ago, 8 years prior possibly, Noah opened up for them. So it was a good role reversal. And we got to Fenway really, really early because it was general admission, and Lindsay and I wanted to get onto the gate, like onto the rail, like to be the very, very front. And it was just amazing. 40,000 plus people. Again, the biggest concert Noah had played to date. 40,000 plus people at Fenway Park. It was absolutely amazing. Totally amazing show. A lot of special friends and guests came out, including Gracie Abrams, to play everything. So it was that's actually what started my Gracie Abrams fandom, was when we saw her that day, and one of the reasons I got excited to see her open up for Taylor Swift twice. The first time I didn't know who she was as much, but the second time I really got into it, made sure to soak it in and really enjoy seeing Gracie Abrams. Um, so the family concert was just absolutely unbelievable, and I joked around with the family because he was doing another show the next night that should stay in Boston and check out the next night, go to the next show. The day after that was my cousin's wedding in upstate New York. So we wanted to get back over to New York to get to my cousin's wedding. And we had a flight um, back to New York, and I was having breakfast with my friend Charlie from college. Um, and mentioned that after breakfast I was flying to New York. He goes, "No, you're not." I go, "What do you mean? No, we're not." And he goes, "There are no flights today." And there was this weird all um, planet-wide flight outage due to some computers. And I said to Wendy and Lindsay, "This must be a sign that we should stay in Boston to see Noah Kahan again." But we rented a car, drove over to New York City because we wanted to get upstate to our cousin's wedding. Um, so that was the Fenway Park concert. Um, and that would have been the summer of 2024. Um, and then sometime after that, I got an American Express pre-sale code for the Noah Kahan concert in Hyde Park, London. And we had no intentions of going to London in the summer of 2025, but I picked up a couple of tickets. And I tend not to, the last couple of years, I haven't been able to make my summer plans until the kids got sorted with what they wanted to do. Lindsay had applied for a bunch of internships. David decided to take classes in Ireland over the summer. It Without knowing what I was going to do, I had these tickets for Noah Kahan, and David says to me, "Hey, Dad, if no one's using the tickets, my girlfriend and I would go to the concert because it was a few days before he had to be in Ireland." I said, "David, would it be awkward if me, you, and her were at the concert together?" So Wendy decided to come with us, and Lindsay, because she's working in a lab, she has a great job for the summer. She was available to come for the weekend. So the five of us, our family of four, and David's girlfriend, we're going to all go to the concert in London. Lindsay missed her flight. Um, 65,000 people. I forget if it was 60 or 65,000 people in London. Unbelievable. Again, the third time I've been to Noah Kahan's largest concert big ever, and it was just so amazing. And as I mentioned before, Gracie Abrams was a guest. So I'd seen Gracie Abrams now twice at Noah Kahan concerts, and one of those two times she opened up, so I got to see her play her set. I've seen her twice now at Taylor Swift concerts, so I don't know if that's considered four times or five times. But yeah, it was just amazing. We saw in London. We saw Evita. I couldn't go with Lindsay, so I'm not sure if I should do Evita in her own podcast, or should I start a new concert podcast and talk about Evita? Yeah, I'm going to do that. All right. So thank you for joining me on a trip down Noah Kahan memory lane. 6 concerts: Saratoga Springs, Nashville, Washington State, Fenway, Hyde Park. Oh, what was the 6th one? A few months ago, October of 2024. So it would have been after Oregon, right? After Oregon and after Fenway. Fenway was the summer of 2024. After Fenway, he did a charity concert in Vermont, Essex Junction, Vermont. He did a charity concert. So Lindsay and I went there, visited Lindsay in Burlington, Vermont. We went to the Noah Kahan concert. It was absolutely amazing. Ben and Jerry's, being from the area, had a special flavor ice cream at the concert just for the concert. Noah Kahan has a great song called Northern Attitude. Ben and Jerry's made the Northern Latte Tude. coffee-flavored ice cream for the event. Bernie Sanders was there. He kind of introduced and opened up, made a little statement for before the Noah Kahan concert. It was really just an amazing, amazing concert. I've been back to Burlington, Vermont recently at the same fairgrounds to see Mount Joy, who we saw at Fenway. But so recently I was there at the fairgrounds for Mount Joy. Nowhere near as many people in Essex Junction to see Mount Joy as there was for Noah Kahan. What an amazing, amazing concert that was. So thank you for joining me on this memory lane of the 6 times I had seen Noah Kahan. I guess every time was with Lindsay except for the most recent one, and I did not see Radio City Music Hall. So now Lindsay and I are even at 6 times seeing Noah Kahan. But I'll tell you, I can't get enough of him. Ooh, should I talk about Ziggy Alberts? Or should I make that a separate podcast? All right, I should make Ziggy Alberts a separate podcast as well. All right. Thank you for joining me on the Matthew Mania podcast from Ireland. We are in a hotel room in Ireland. Stay tuned next week or the week after to hear about Evita and Ziggy Alberts. And check out MatthewMania.com and BocaRatonWrestling.com. Reminder, at BocaRatonWrestling.com, you can see under the galleries photos from all the different wrestling events. At MatthewMania.com, you can see photos from other events that we have. So check out RealEstateFinder.com, MatthewMania.com, and BocaRatonWrestling.com. I think I need a link tree for all these websites and social media clips.
Time it is. You know what time it is. You know whose time it is. You know what time it is. Matthew Mania, the time it says. You know what time it is. You know whose time it is. You know what time it is. Matthew Mania, the time it says. Yeah, got him shook, scared, can't look. We're not afraid of the big bad wolf. First comes the right, followed by the left hook. Execute perfect, this is textbook. If you ever test, make sure you bring the best. Head into the ring with the M on my chest. Any match, bring the ladders and the tables. Lock us in the cage and nobody can save you. When it's war, I'm coming to destroy. Napalm blast, I'm coming with the noise. They chant for the king, the girls and the boys. They saying I'm the best cause they didn't have a choice. You know what time, you know what time, you know what time it is. You know what time, you know what time, you know what time it is. You know what time, you know what time, you know what time it is. You know what time, you know what time, you know what time it is.